He didn't expect anyone to be standing at his gate that cold morning, let alone a trembling Apache widow holding two frightened children by the hand. But when the lonely cowboy opened his ranch door and saw her eyes, full of desperation and silent pleading, he knew something was about to change his life forever. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to Moments of Love and leave a like and comment if this story touches your heart. She stood there barefoot, her dress torn from travel, her long dark hair whipped by the wind. Her children clung to her skirt as if it were the only safe place left in the world. The cowboy, John Carter, stared for a moment, unsure if what he was seeing was real or a leftover dream from another restless night. "Please," the woman whispered. "We have nowhere else to go." John swallowed hard. He had lived alone for years, ever since losing his wife to fever. He had grown used to silence, used to talking only to his horses in the creaking windmill. He had built walls around his heart, so high that not even hope dared to climb them. But something about the widow's trembling voice, something about those children, pierced right through the quiet fortress he had lived in. "What happened to you?" he asked gently. The woman lowered her head. "My husband, he died last winter. Our tribe scattered after attacks from bandits. No one would take us in. My children haven't eaten since yesterday. We walked 2 days following the smoke from your chimney." "I'll do anything, cowboy. I'll work, I'll cook. I'll clean if you wish. I'll even be your wife. Just please help my children." Her voice cracked on the word children, and that was enough for him. John opened the gate wide. "You and the little ones get inside. No one should beg for kindness." The widow's knees buckled with relief, and she whispered something in Apache, something that sounded like a prayer. Inside the warm cabin, the children stared around, wide-eyed. John quickly heated stew, the simple kind he always made for himself. But to the little ones, it smelled like a banquet. They devoured it so fast that John had to laugh softly, a sound he hadn't heard from his own mouth in years. The widow sat quietly at the table, watching her children eat with tears shining in her eyes. She didn't touch the bowl John placed before her until he nudged it gently toward her. "Eat." He said, "You need strength too." She hesitated, then nodded. "Thank you, I'm Nia." He smiled awkwardly, John. For the rest of that day, he watched as Nia helped wherever she could. Washing dishes, sweeping the cabin floor, calming her children when storms of memory shook them. She didn't rest, as if afraid that if she stopped moving, she and her children would be turned out again. Late in the evening, John found her outside near the horses, staring at the sky as snow began to fall. She shivered through her torn dress, but she didn't move. "You'll freeze," he said softly. "Come inside." Nia looked up at him, her eyes tired but strong. "I can't repay you. You don't have to repay me." John replied, "Kindness isn't a trade." She swallowed hard, fighting tears. "Then why help me? Why us?" John took a breath. "Because once someone helped me when I didn't deserve it. I'm alive because of that. Maybe it's my turn that night." He set blankets on the floor near the fire for Nia and the children, offering them the warmest place in the cabin while he slept in the small room to the side. He heard the children giggle softly as they settled in, and somehow that sound, warm and innocent, felt like a tiny flame waking up inside him. Days turned into weeks. Nia proved to be gentle, hardworking, and grateful. She taught her children how to feed the chickens, how to stack firewood, how to behave respectfully inside the cowboy's home. John found himself looking forward to their laughter, echoing through the cabin. For the first time in years, the ranch didn't feel like a graveyard of memories. Winter deepened, supplies grew tight, and John worried he wasn't wealthy. He had enough for himself, but now he had 3 more mouths to feed. Still, he couldn't imagine telling them to leave one evening. Snow falling hard outside. Nia approached him as he fixed a loose window latch. "You've given us safety," she said softly. "And in my people's tradition, safety must be honored. You are a good man. John Carter, my children call you uncle already. If you wish, I will become your wife and bind our lives." Her voice was not desperate this time. It was calm, honest. John froze. He had not expected her to bring it up again. He looked into her eyes, gentle, hopeful, steady, and something inside him shifted. "Nia, you don't owe me marriage." "But I want to," she whispered. "You gave us a home. I want to give you one too." He felt a weight he had carried for years begin to lift. The weight of loneliness, grief, and self-imposed exile. He hadn't thought he deserved another chance at family. But maybe he did. A quiet smile softened his weathered face. "Then let's take it slow. You and the children stay here. We'll see where the path leads. No promises forced, no debt." Nia exhaled, relieved. "You are kinder than any man I've ever known." From that night on, something changed between them. Not rushed, not dramatic, but steady. They cooked together, worked side by side, laughed at the children's small adventures, and slowly, gently, 2 broken lives began stitching themselves into one. Spring arrived early that year. The children ran through the fields with joy, chasing butterflies and splashing in puddles. John built them a small playhouse. From leftover lumber, Nia painted Apache symbols of protection on its tiny walls. Watching them together, John realized something. He loved them, all 3 of them. One warm afternoon, as Nia washed clothes by the creek, John approached with a bouquet of wildflowers awkwardly tied with rope. He cleared his throat. "Nia, I think I'm ready if you are." She looked at the flowers, then at him, and her smile spread softly across her face like sunrise. "I have been ready since the night you opened your gate." They married quietly near the creek, with only her children as witnesses. Nia placed her hands over his as they exchanged simple vows, and her daughter slipped a wildflower ring onto her mother's finger. Giggling with pride, it wasn't a grand ceremony, but it was perfect. Life grew fuller. John taught the children to ride small ponies, while Nia taught John the meaning of several Apache words and songs. Their home, once silent and cold, now echoed with laughter, stories, and the sound of new beginnings. But life on the frontier was never free of shadows. And just when peace seemed certain, a new challenge crept quietly toward their little ranch, testing everything they had built together. It happened on a hot summer afternoon. John was repairing a fence along the north pasture when he saw dust rising far off on the trail. At first he thought it was a traveler passing through. But as the dust grew thicker and moved faster, he felt a heaviness settle in his chest. 3 men on horseback rode straight toward his land. Rough-looking men armed. Moving with purpose, John's hand instinctively dropped to the revolver at his side. As the riders slowed near the gate, their leader, a tall man with a scar down his cheek, called out, "This land belongs to Carter." "Don't it?" John studied their faces. "Danger in all 3, I'm Carter." He said, "State your business." The scarred man spat. "We're looking for an Apache woman and 2 kids. Heard a lonely cowboy took him in. Heard she might be hiding here." John said firmly, "No one's hiding. This is my family behind him." Nia stepped out, her children peeking behind her. The scarred man grinned. "There she is. Your husband owed us money. Debt passes to family, Apache or not." Nia stepped back, terrified. John moved in front of her. "You're not taking her. This ain't your fight, cowboy." Walk away and we won't burn your ranch. John didn't move. My wife is not going anywhere. The air turned still before the intruders could draw weapons. More dust appeared. 5 Apache riders, men from Naya's tribe arriving just in time. They surrounded the stranger, silently but powerfully outnumbered. The scarred man cursed and rode off. Only then did Naya run to John. Tears falling, you protected us. She whispered, you chose us. I'll choose you every time, he said that night. They celebrated with the Apache visitors. When quiet returned and the children slept, Naya and John sat under the stars. Today could have ended differently, she whispered. It didn't. John said, taking her hand. Because family protects family. She leaned into him. You gave me a home. But today, you gave me hope that my children will grow up in a kinder world. John kissed her forehead gently. They will, I promise. And in the heart of the Wild West, a lonely cowboy and an Apache widow prove that kindness doesn't just save lives. It rebuilds them, giving people a future they never thought they'd see.